Hey Ready Steady Freefrommers. So today we are cooking berry coconut squares. So we've got a pastry base, we've got a jam layer, and we've got a crumbly type topping. And it's cut into squares and it's going to be absolutely divine. So let's get cooking. Now, because the food processor is nice and easy, that's what we're going to use. I am using the metal blade. In here I have 1.5 cups of ground almonds or almond flour, whichever you use. So to this we're going to add 1/4 cup of coconut flour. I'm just going to try and, the sun is blaring in and I've got no blind, so it's kind of blinding the picture a bit. So that's that in there. Now to this we're going to add 1 egg. And pinch salt. And a tablespoon of honey. Okay, and then we're going to blitz this and come back. So that's that blitzed. It's kind of a sticky, crumbly mixture. You can squish it together and it will stay together, so it's quite moist. And we're going to press this into the pan that we've got. So I've got a tray here that's just lined with that silicone parchment that I use. And it's about a 20 centimetre pan, but whatever is good, it's fine. You could use a cake tin if you wanted to. So we're just going to press most of this mixture into the base of this. We are going to hold a little bit back for the topping. So I'm just going to hold back about 1/2 cup of the topping there. There we go. And pop the rest into the tray. So while we're waiting for that to cook in the oven, I've made the jam. So I already had it boiling away, and I brought it, I basically put 2 cups of frozen fruit in here and I let it defrost. I covered the bottom with water and just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. Water also came out from the frozen fruit defrosting. And so I brought it to the boil and I let it simmer for a bit, just so that it can cook the fruit and thicken it up a bit. Now what I've done is I've used an immersion blender to break down all the lumps, so we have this luscious thick liquid. So it's kind of like a compote, not so much like a jam, but it works just fine. So we're going to use the whole lot on this pastry bake, okay? Now this is the pastry base that I've just taken out of the oven. You might be able to see just on the edges here, it's just catching, so I don't want to cook it for any longer. Now, I'd actually forgotten to put the coconut oil in, so I took it back out of the tray and put back into the food processor, added 1/4 cup of coconut oil, and then put it back in the tray, flattened it out and put it in the oven. So we're just going to let that cool for a bit now, while we make the topping. Now we have in here, I've just put the topping that we reserved from the first lot, so it's about 1/2 cup of that topping I've put back in there. Now we're going to add about 1/4 cup of pecans. We like pecans, so we'll add a few more. And then we are going to add about 1/3 cup, maybe a bit more, of shredded coconut. So let's go for 2/3 cup. And an egg. Okay, so to those ingredients I've also added 1/4 cup of ground almonds, almond flour, and about 1/4 cup of honey. So this is quite a sticky mixture, so it's going to be more of a spongy, not such a crumbly texture. You could add more shredded coconut. This is kind of a mishmash of 2 recipes for me, because I didn't want tons of coconut in it. And the measurement that I used at the beginning for the 1/3 cup was the wrong measurement. It was 1/8. It was this one, so should have been this one. So I had to increase the ingredients, which is a better consistency now, and it also looks like a better amount to put on top of the pastry. So let's take this, let's pop the jam on it. Now you could, if you wanted to, add almond extract to the topping and it would make it more of a bake well. You could even use frozen cherries as your fruit to put on it. So let's spread that all out then. You see there's just about the right amount there. And plus if you freeze this, which I probably will, then it's going to just freeze and set. So that'll be great. Oh, how tempted am I to eat that bit. It's just a little crumb. It's making my mouth water. I can smell the lovely, lovely berryness. Oh my days, I can't wait to taste this. Right, so I'm going to use my fingers to spread this all around and kind of crumble it across. Oh, it looks so good. It's not even cooked yet. And how amazed are you that there's no cinnamon in this recipe? Okay, I'm spreading it out all over to start off with, just so that I get an even spread, and then I can start to build it up as I go along. And you could do, if you wanted to, because this mixture is quite sticky, put it in the fridge to help it stop sticking to you as you're spreading it across. And I think what I might do as well is sprinkle some shredded coconut on top of this, which I think would be quite nice. So there we go. And also sprinkling all this on top as well, it's giving it a bit of height. So, yum yum. So I'm going to sprinkle some shredded coconut on top of this. Adds another texture to it, different colour. And also covers up part of that jam that's peeping through. Right, okay, so we're going to put this in the oven now. Same temperature I'm going to go for 15 minutes to start off with, just to make sure that I'm not burning it. So I've just got it out of the oven, it's been in there 15 minutes. Now you can see that the tops are really quite brown and underneath isn't, so I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so I've waited as long as I could, and that's about 10 minutes, and I've cut a piece out and we're going to do the cheeky taste test. So it's still warm, so it's still a bit wobbly, but you can see there the lovely layers. Look at that juicy jam. We've got the lovely pastry base and the crumbly topping, so let's see how it tastes. The jam, that really hit me. I think it was a little bit sour that went in. Maybe a bit more honey next time. But it's lovely. It's nice to have a bit of tartness, I think. Oh my goodness. You know, this would be so nice with custard. I've got to figure out a way how to make custard. So, okay, I'm going to have to eat a bit more. Try and give you a bit more feedback. Okay. Oh, the tanginess. The tanginess of that jam is, first of all, when you bite into it, it's lovely and soft. When it's going to be frozen, it's not going to be soft, it's going to be more hard. And even when it's refrigerated and cooled properly, for those who are more patient than me, then this will be a lot firmer. So it's lovely and soft, and obviously it's warm. And there's different textures in there. So the pastry base is kind of, it's not mushy, but because it hasn't cooled properly yet, it's very soft and kind of just coats your mouth with that lovely almondy flavour. And then you've got the hit of the jam. And you saw the hit of the jam come through both times, and that's lovely. A lovely tartness with just a little bit of sweetness. And then you've got the coconutty topping and the different texture that brings in there, that coconut. And so, because it's kind of crumbly and it's lovely and jammy, it's just, yeah, it's really good. That's a winner. I think if you were going to do like a Bakewell tart with it, I would actually put the almond extract in the pastry base, and I think probably 2 teaspoons of almond extract, and then use cherries. Might have to do that in another video to create like a Bakewell slice, and that'd be really good. This is really good, so I highly recommend you make it. It's really tasty. You're going to get quite a few squares out of this, and most of it's going to make it to the freezer. I am going to eat a few more bits, and even though I'm getting fatter, but hey ho, such is life, the trials we have to bear. So enjoy making it if you give it a go, and give us feedback, show us pictures and give us feedback on what you did. And stay healthy, stay well, and enjoy this healthy eating. And subscribe, like, comment, share, whatever you want to do, and I'll see you next time in the kitchen.